Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. Busy earnings week. PCE Friday. It's going to be a good one. Quiet overnight. Very narrow trading ranges. How is everyone doing? Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Patrick. Morning, George. We can take a look at Tesla on the daily afternoon. Charles. Hey, Coco. Yes, it is a huge week. Happy Monday, Christoph, and people hiding in the background. Good morning, Sterling. So let's just get straight to it this morning. We got the Consumer Board Leading Index coming out at 9 a.m., 30 minutes after the open. So do not ignore that. It's not going to probably have that much effect, but do not ignore it. It's actually more interesting because if this keeps in the negative mode, it keeps that recession play on the table, then there's nothing. You got your 3 and 6 month bill auctions. So far this morning, very quiet, mixed market map. Tesla up pretty much the biggest, 175 basis points so far. Oh, and then ASML up the same amount right there. Technology, consumer, cyclical leading the push higher. Healthcare, basic materials, and utilities are lagging. Still, we have the 25 basis point fully baked in for a week and a half away, and we are in Fed quiet period, and we are back in greed mode. Gamma, with the Gamma, we had a lot of roll going on Friday with OpX. You can still see 4,000 is very key, major Gamma wall. So, and we tip, the tipping is $39.99, so 4K is key. You start getting above that, dealers are selling into the rally, so it can have a dampening effect, but that doesn't mean you still can't rally. But 4,000 is very, very key to level to watch. On any sell-off, it accelerates negative Gamma going down. Earnings, very quiet this morning. After the close, we have Logitech. Probably that's the biggest name. So it's not a huge earning day, but there's a lot of regional banks today. So today's pretty much the quietest day of the week. With that, and you already see that reflected, I mean overnight, let's see, we had a really nice sideways movement, and then we're trying to break out. Nothing's really changed since the key areas I talked about yesterday. 4,000, 4,002, then 4,018 is the next minor area. Above that would be a retest of this 4,035 area. Key support now. You have the rotation zone going back up. My minor support is coming in about 39.74. More significant is about 39.68 to 39.70. If we start breaking below that, I will watch for a clear path, potential acceleration down. But other than that, not much. We still have the dailies cycles trying to bottom, and we still have weekly on the way up. Remember, on a key areas to get above that 75% harmonic, above that 4,002, 4,003 area to put in a potential double top, or at least a double area to come up here to watch for a more significant topping pattern. NASDAQ, which does have the double top in place, again, very quiet. This is a significant resistance area spiking above that 11,703. Briefly, that was the first target area, but on a closing basis is 11,743. We start breaking out to the upside. The only target in the short term is 11,816, and then we'd have 11,872. Pullback areas, my major focus is right around this 11,600. We start breaking below that, I will watch into the acceleration of the potential clear path, but can't get in overly bearish mode unless we trigger the double top. So again, not much has changed since yesterday afternoon's analysis. Let's just get to Dow, Russell, then we'll jump to the spiders and the Qs. Again, the Dow pretty much finishing the double bottom pattern from Friday. So that's done. It's going into clear path mode and trading against key resistance. So if we start breaking above 33.6, 33,760, 33,940 to 34,000 are the targets higher. The key support is coming in just in front of this harmonic. I'm going to be watching about 33,450 to about 33,400. Russell flatlining also. Key area for me on the close is 1885. That's what I'll be watching for on any push higher, and that's the intraday level. Above there, the next level is 1891. Support, your minor is 1870. More significant is right around 1864. Let's just peek at the DAX real quick too. DAX, not much, although 15,193 on a closing base if it does push back higher. Now, the spiders and the Qs. Spiders gap up this morning, very slight gap up. So taking it back above the 200 right now. If we do pull back, I'll be targeting Friday's close 395.88. Right now, trading 396.20. To the upside, we have very strong resistance at 400. Minor resistance is 399. Everything else, I would just be using, again, on your very short-term pullback levels. It's above the 62.5. So you got 397.08. So 397, 398.61 to 399. Then that 400 area. Those are your key upsides. On a pullback, 393.75. And then roughly right around 392 are your key pullback levels that I would be utilizing. For the Qs, which also has that potential double top in place, 282.95 we have as a level trading. Next is that 87.5 harmonic, about 283.35, and then to 284.77. There's not much resistance up there. Above that is 286. On a pullback, I am looking at 282. First little pullback would be we're just a minor gap, but then the next key area is 282, then 280.65, and then major support coming in at 279.30. Let's see who else is here. Good morning, Anissa. Hey, Chris, hit that like button. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Donald. Good morning, Options 22. Good morning, Bear Better Than Beer. If you, I mean, I don't have, I'm not in a looking to long-term sell Intel. Buy Visa would just be, if you think Visa is going to blow it out of the water with earnings, we'd have to look at short-term patterns. So, good morning, Ted. All right. The notes. Not much. Just continues to pull back. Key support at 114.12, 114.13. Other than that, there's not a great short-term pattern. It is now trading below the breakout levels, though, after running up to the 200. I'm just waiting for more clarity in the notes. The dollar index still trying to put in some kind of bottom. Still trying to put in some kind of bottom. So this is just incredibly sloppy in here, but I will be watching, especially if we start breaking above about 102.10 at this point. If we can get a sustained move above 102.10, I will start to get interesting on a quick potential run to about 102.80 to 103 area. Support still coming in at 101.10. If we do break down, then I'm focused on a return to the $100 level. Crude, which Triggered the double on Friday. We still have a potential double top with the double bottom already triggered. Other than that, nothing else new since the last analysis we did. If it runs up intraday, the next minor pattern is 83.92, then 87.21 are the two key targets. Gold, still watching for that more medium-term topping play coming in potentially, but nothing significant yet. Like same thing with copper, watching for a more significant topping play unless we close above 432. 10-year, remember I'm watching this because if we start spiking back above 50 basis points, that'll get me interested in another potential rollover play in the yen. So far, just letting the yen run higher against key resistance right now, but no great setup just yet. This is what, in the shorter term, keeping an eye just on this little mini. It's sort of not great value, but I will use these levels. I would not trade it as a double because all the way down, but I will be watching that key point to trigger a short-term rollover play. If it does, I'm still expecting a short-term rally. The euro, again, pulling back. Won't get really interested in the euro until it breaks below about 107.80. Just missing that 50% harmonic I've talked about. The pound still rolling over, but the next major play isn't until below 118.41. Minor, I'll start getting interested below about 121.80 though. Bitcoin, nada, just stalling out with another sideways move. Tesla, is this an inverse head and shoulders? This is way too sloppy. It does not have a properly formed right shoulder. It's gapping up here, so the minor with this gap area will give us on the open a potential double top, but I'd be interested then on the breakdown below 124.31 on a closing basis. Other than that, targets are still in play, 141, then 145.40. Going into earnings, that's the upside targets. So the only short-term short thing is if we take out that 124.31. Otherwise, still just trading potentially back into the weekly rotation zone. Going into earnings. What else do we have? Good morning, Rod. What do you make of the VIX? Besides it's gone to sleep. There's just, the only way I'm interested in the VIX is if we start getting above 22 again. 22 will get me interested in the VIX for starting to watch for more downside pressure. Other than that, it's just trading in this little range. If you want to watch for shorter term stuff, I'd pay more attention to the tick than the VIX at this point. Where else do we sit? I know somebody brought up NVIDIA. Where was that? Good morning, Paul. Christoph says it's going to 184. Definitely possible. Again, it's still should make the run to 180, 177, and then the next key target above there. There's not much until you get to this close to 185 level even. So that would be on a running higher. That would be my next major target higher. Can I look at the Swiss franc? Sure. I mean, still, you're trading against major, which was tested last week. This 91 area is very, very strong. Does it have a great signal down here? No. Let's just take a look at the little bigger perspective. On a run, I would be targeting a return to about 93 on a run higher. I'd actually be targeting above the daily rotation zone. About 93 would be the key thing. There's just no fantastic bottoming pattern just yet. It did test key support and has so far rallied. There's just not a strong setup besides some very short-term setups in it. If you're looking for something very short-term, the breakout play above about 92.30, then I'd be watching for that run to 93 as long as it does not take out 91.80. So those are your short-term plays in the Swiss. Where else? Who's Visco? ECB policy normalization must continue at a gradual pace. All right. Where else do we sit? Yeah, so they're looking at Ford's looking to cut, just seeing if there's anything else interesting today. Not much. Just gonna peek at some of the other couple majors. Apple pretty flat compared to Friday's close, so nothing's changed since our analysis. Still in short-term bull mode unless we close below 133.77. Still in short-term bull mode, so nothing else has really changed from our. We don't have a lot of key things going on this morning. Not a lot of key gaps. Still got the potential double in Microsoft, but I'd be watching for higher prices. My next target is this just in front of 245 area. Right now, 240.75. The only thing that shifts that, we close below 230.68. I will watch for the topping play. There's just not a lot. Quiet day because everything's backloaded this week. So don't get caught off guard. And if you're watching something intraday, I pay close attention to the dollar. Why? Because if this can get a rally on and put it in a short-term bottom, that can have a dampening effect on more equities rally. It can put a little sort of a dampening effect on there. And it could also lead to some of these pullbacks in commodities. So do keep that in mind. With that, I am going to call it a little early today. Still have a painter here painting some rooms, so I have to deal with that in the background. But I will be back after the close. Hopefully the painting will be done well before the close, and I will have an uninterrupted live stream. So see everybody then. Bye for now.